Good morning, everyone. It's 11:39 on the clock. 11 is the Justice card, Truth and Balance, and the 39 of the Knight of Cups of Being Love. So before I get started with the message of the day, the Union read, and the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine Twin Flame read, let's go ahead and take our deep breath. We're going to take 3 of them. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everyone. Thank you all for joining me, for spending time with me. I so appreciate you guys and your energy and keeping it really positive out there and upbeat. Okay. So the message of the day, very cool one today. I'm going to show you the pictures and I'm going to roll the die. So first we have here the Union read for today. Here's the Union read for today. For those of you not familiar, it's 4D, 5D, and the 6D on the top. Divine Feminine left, Masculine right, and the bridge between them in the center. The incoming Divine Feminine, the outgoing Divine Masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies there. Let me clarify just a little bit better. And then here we have the read in front of you on the table. This is the Twin Flame read, the basic read from the Syrian Starseed deck, and then the 7 deck clarifiers in addition to that. Here, it is a lot of energy, so if something doesn't resonate with you, don't forget it's a general reading for all the twin flames, so don't force something to fit if it doesn't fit. And again, if you want something more personalized, you can check my information below, as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. And I have a CD out there also called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames by Evelyn Stainthorpe if you want to check that out. It's only $1 for a song. Here's the message of the day. This is the underlying energies. And then we have 4 different decks and 6 cards wanted to come out. So I have 4 decks and 6 cards. And this is the message I'm about to give you. Okay, so let's roll the die first before I forget they're sitting there. This is for the Twin Flames today. Tonight is the new moon. I'm on the East Coast. On the East Coast, the new moon is at 8:51 tonight. And then UTC is actually after midnight. It's at 12:51 tonight. So we're going into the new moon. This is the last of the waning moon. And let's go ahead and see what comes up for the Twin Flames today. All right, we have the sun. The sun. We have the number 2, which is the High Priestess and the Divine Feminine, the one-on-one relationship. And then we have Leo energy here. Okay, so Leo, the High Priestess, which also is Pisces for me, and then Leo again from the sun. So a lot of Leo energy and Pisces. There could be Aquarius coming up too, since that's on the axis with Leo. So yeah, it's very interesting contrast here between the Leo that loves attention and the Pisces who likes to keep to them, you know, the High Priestess that likes to keep to themselves. Okay. So this message of the day. Some very interesting energies were coming up today. I was watching, what channel is that? Just give me 1 second. On Lewis Howes, The 6 Secrets to Completely Heal Your Body and Mind, and that's Marissa Peer. It's interesting too, because I've seen other advertisements for her, which I don't tend to like because she comes off too strong. Like it's that superiority energy, but on this interview, she comes off very relatable. I like the energy much better. But there was some very interesting stuff coming up regarding what she talks about and how to heal yourself. And just, it's 11:44 on the clock. And just remembering that there's so much that we go into as a child, and some of the stuff that she was talking about was, you know, how we internalize because of our home situation when we're children, like if our parents are fighting, how we take on certain ailments or issues so that our parents will stop fighting. That was just one of the examples. But go back to your childhood again and review some of those things as to why certain negative behaviors that don't serve you started because of what was going on in your house and the way that you decided to protect yourself in that environment. Also, remember how powerful your thoughts and words are. Something else she was bringing up is sarcasm, because your brain doesn't understand the difference between truth and sarcasm. So your brain's going, like if you say, you know, I'm just going to die, your brain's taking that seriously. It's just like the word understand, that when you say I understand, you're saying you stand under the person that you're talking to. So be careful with your words and your thoughts. And remember, just if you make a mistake and say something that may manifest something you don't want, then just, you know, again, use the intention to cross it out, that it never happened. It's all with your thought and words. You have so much power, and that comes up again in the reading today. So let's see here. All right, the message of the day, this is from this morning at 9:46. 9 is the Hermit, 46 is the Six of Cups. And by the way, today was coming up as all about the Two of Cups. And it's interesting because the 2 came up with the Leo energy. The one-on-one relationship and mediation can come up as well. But the 46 is the Six of Cups, but it's also the 2 children in the garden. So it's very much about that one-on-one love relationship that's very sweet and innocent and pure. That soulmate and past life relationship as well. So the message of the day with the underlying energies were the cheetah, the ring, the Queen of Swords, and the marriage. So obviously this has to do with cheating in marriage. And that doesn't have to be sexual cheating, right? So we have the energies of cheated in the past, perhaps, with the Queen of Swords, or ignored their commitment to the Queen of Swords and their marriage because they were distracted by the past. And that could be someone who couldn't let go of their childhood or an old relationship. The cheetah with the elephant and the nightingale and dear one, which definitely comes up as the one who never forgets with the 2 children, right? So the one who won't let it go, like the cheating in the past or whatever it was that they couldn't forgive them for. It's definitely coming up as a masculine, feminine, and their 2 kids, but they could be 2 feminines or 2 masculines as well. The ring with the loving woman of public meets, or this also can be the loving woman or a loving woman with a child, the pup, and the house, you know, the whole household. The loving woman who likes public meets or socializing, or a lover of nature, with the peacock and lady statues perhaps in the gardens, with the fox walking away from the country, farm, or ranch home to commit, or she currently being judgmental of the patient angel, committed Knight of Wands elsewhere, or fallen angel who cheated on them. An issue here with trust regarding home and family. So the Queen of Swords with the this is all the underlying energy. The Queen of Swords with the High Priestess, secret or psychic abilities, or Pisces or divine feminine lover, or 2 female lovers, or 2 children, each praying for him, or man praying for happiness of kids, pets, and or vacation or exposure, so that the dark birds will go away. For the 10 of Cups, happy family to be happy, and for the Queen of Swords to find a way out, to be a part of that happiness. Or lovers praying that he find a way out of the Queen of Swords' chains or light, and Pisces upright, Gemini upright, Leo upright, and Pisces or Capricorn reversed here. Pisces or Capricorn may be escaping from a Gemini female. However, the Gemini female, or whatever this air sign is, she is upright with the light. So she may want out of the marriage, leaving him with grown females, whether they're children or others. The marriage here, with divine lovers on the path to receive a gift for the marriage, or from a married couple. The mature woman with change in occupation or a new car or home, with unexpected income due to lovers on path receiving or presenting a gift or proposal of marriage. This mature woman can be the Queen of Swords, Gemini, or other air sign, or this could be her mother, or a mother figure to the Queen of Swords, blessing the daughter's marriage, or the daughter blessing hers, or mother and daughter, or two females coming together in a partnership. The first card out, or the first pile rather, is the innocent Batman and the Empress with the empty room or nest, mother and son, or older woman and younger man. The man may be stuck in their root chakra due to codependency on their mother, and again, here comes up those issues that we were just talking about to relook at. He may be a nocturnal creature choosing a new path of love due to empty nest with Empress, or to come together with an older woman, or a couple who are very different in their likes and dislikes. At 1022, which is the Wheel of Fortune, a turn for the better, and the 22 of the Fool, with an open heart taking a leap of faith. He may be remote traveling or liking that kind of stuff, or spiritual things, or space type of stuff like Star Trek and Star Wars, and she's coming up as a homebody of luxury. It's very Taurian energy here. Or she the Mother Earth, which would make him the sun, except he's a night owl, very far from the earth, and she wears his chastity belt, choosing completion here. And this could be two, just both deciding they don't want to be together anymore because they really don't like the same things. The number 2 pile here is the Sea Serpent, the Power Male, the Ace of Swords reversed, and the False Person. So the higher level sacral chakra coming up here, struggling to stay open. Remember, the sacral chakra is all about your sexual energy, your creativity, your growth. And again, that can be your physical growth of the child. The higher level, though, sacral chakra, struggling to stay open with angry power man from Mars and split with false person. Or she was the one who lied and or cheated with another man, or he was scammed by a masked couple, or they are the couple, neither showing their true selves in the relationship, and now in a divide, split, or one big lie, or the need for clarity, the whole truth, or choosing not to dance anymore. The 3 here is the Vulture, Birds, the Hermit reversed, and courtship. The cleanup crew of the community, or Parks and Rec, have been coming up a lot this week, and I didn't even realize that Parks and Rec was a show because I've never watched that. And I'm sure I've heard about it in the past, but I forgot about that. But Parks and Recs, for me, has been coming up as literally Parks and Recs. So the cleanup crew of the community, or Parks and Recs, or the big, odd, crotchety bird amidst a flock of seagulls, or beautiful social birds who like to chat. And I wrote chaste. So that's interesting too, because that's being chaste as in pure, but also they like to be chased by a man. Feeding the beast, about the hermit reversed, losing their mind, whether that's a parent with dementia or over isolation and coming out, about courtship, or the odd couple, the courtship of Eddie's father and the odd couple coming up, that era of the 70s shows, and the vulture and the hermit reversed with the community tweets and gossip getting between them, or the emperor and hermit hanging out. It's like the vulture, the scavenger, and the hermit, like Quasimodo, ready to jump off the edge, coming together and hanging out. Very interesting. And that could be 2 old people as well. So the 4 here, number 4, is the stingray, the moon, the temperance reverse, and expectation. Plugged in, turned on, which was the title coming up yesterday. Plugged in, turned on, and that's very much the stingray here, at night or at mid-moon cycle. So today's the new moon, so a week from now is the mid-moon cycle, and also between the full moon and the new moon again. So today is the 6th going to the 7th, so plus another 7 days, going to be around the 14th to the 15th. Or the 13th to the 15th, somewhere in there, because it's not exactly 7 days. So plugged in, turned on at night, or mid-moon, or by Cancer, or by pinpointing exactly where on the globe the Christ and Mary Magdalene, the stingray and the blue ray, the fallen angel and the lady of expectation, wondering where he is, or both impatient on the journey due to the choice of path, or twin with expectation. He turned on, she on path, impatient moody blues needing to change their thought process. Number 5 is the firefly, the swans, the judgment reversed, and the house. The firefly can only exude that much light for so long. They can't transmute all that dark energy all alone. Two as one, perhaps the Queen of Wands here needing to swallow their pride or heed the call, or made a bad call about a house, or house call, or one not made, or keeping the light on out front for the loving kids to come home but they never called, or the light burned out so they couldn't see their way home, or one with a bright idea and the other with poor judgment, partnering up at home, or parents away, of course, and the mice will play, or couple lost a house due to indecision or they spoke too soon, or whose bright idea was it not to call or make that house call at 1044, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 44 of the Four of Cups, the grounding and integrating and mastering of love, especially allowing yourself to receive love. So then 1046, here's that 46 again, the Six of Cups, the children loving each other, hugging each other in the garden. Number 6 pile is Buffalo, and Buffalo Bill came up here. Remember, Buffalo Bill in the movie is the one who obviously is very wounded from childhood and is sewing human skin together. But also the letter coming up here, the Four of Cups, and the imprisonment here of themselves, right? Putting themselves in imprisonment. They may be taking prisoners and hostages, but they're also imprisoned themselves. Buffalo Bill with sealed letter, document, or communication, tempted by the Holy Grail and imprisoned by it, or ended up in jail, present to life term or term life, or that temptation could end up, so insurance is coming up here too as a wound, or that temptation could end up imprisonment, right? So something you're tempted by could actually be your own imprisonment, locked up and throwing away the key, giving up on them like a death sentence. And then Buford was coming up, I'm not sure why. B-U Ford. So I don't know if Boston University and Ford, there's something to do with their partnership. B-U Ford. Or Buford. So again, the energy of throwing away the key, giving up on them like a death sentence, right? If somebody doesn't love you, it's like you might as well just throw them in jail for the rest of their life. Or breaking sealed records and idle hands, of course, the devil's workshop is the idea. The buffalo trusts every turn here, that life, no matter what, is a precious gift. They are very grounded and heavenly all at the same time, and Spirit's connecting with me very strongly, because the buffalo comes up in this deck as the one who's very grounded, but also can find peace and happiness in any circumstance, whether it's jail or, lost love, whatever circumstance they're put in, they see a way to rise above. So perhaps the one in prison learns to write, grounding and integrating their truth and insight, making lemons into lemonade, where the truth shall set you free, even if imprisoned here. Boredom is time to ground and integrate what you've learned. It's not the devil's workshop. It's the time to process, to allow your feelings, to allow your thoughts, to allow you to be you and not be afraid or run away from it, right? A lot of people keep busy to run away from their own thoughts and feelings. Boredom is time to ground and integrate what you've learned, to see the love at every turn. Inspired by a big offer of love, but imprisoned by it as well. Be careful what you wish for, what you write, what you speak and don't speak, for you have the power to manifest with each breath you take, each thought or word you make. The summary here is the empty nest or the room of the false person or couple, and the courtship with expectations, or the big house, whether that's wanting a big house in that courtship or ending up in the big house. What's your perspective? the false couple or person, and women laying in wait or woman laying in wait, where the home becomes a prison sentence, self-imposed, or the big house. Sent inside forever, never seeing no one nice again like you. All right, so that energy is coming up. So that is the message of the day. It was very profound, a lot of deep messages there. And let's now go into the union read. And before I forget this too, I know it comes up in the read somewhere, but there's also the energy of Spidey. So in the story here of my cards of the Syrian Starseed deck, where the 4 of crystals or pentacles is the divine masculine's heart in the bat cave, and the 7 of crystals is the divine feminine in the E tower, and we also have the hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave is the 5 of crystals. Very much the people are told their stories told in the crystals or the pentacles here. But often what comes up is Spidey as Batman's friend, right? Not his partner like Robin would be Batman and Robin, but Spidey being his friend. But what was coming up yesterday and today is that Spidey is actually the divine feminine. It's his shadow. So it was the illusion of thinking that Spidey was someone else other than himself, right? Seeing your shadow as something other than you, as opposed to integrating it as part of you. So there's a very profound energy there that comes up. At 5:50 p.m. I did this union read, 5 of the Hierophant and 50 of the 10 of Cups, that emotional fulfillment, happy family or happy ending. The union read of 4D, 5D, and 60 for today, September 6, 2021, going into the new moon tonight. The Hanging Man, the 8 of Wands, and the Page of Cups here as the overall energy. Hanging out, again, the Hanging Man is the underlying energy, the 8 of Wands, the arrows of love is in the middle, and then the Page of Cups, that innocence at the end. Hanging out with a right knee block, and again, remember, anger can get stuck in the liver or in joints as well. Perhaps about a proposal from Indigo Star. Dreaming, healing, galactic travel, walking like an Egyptian, putting out or transmuting fires everywhere, rising above to tango with flame, twist to the right. And again, this Rolfing is coming up. That was coming up for me yesterday. So if you do something one way all the time with your body, try balancing it by doing it the other way with your body all the time. Just like, you drive the car always with one foot, you need to rebalance that with the other foot because the energies become unbalanced. That's Rolfing. And when I experimented with Rolfing, 20, 30 years ago, I definitely felt that release. I literally went to the bathroom one day, was just sitting there and seeing pans of soldiers in Marilyn Monroe at the podium. So definitely things will be released for you by doing that Rolfing process. So in a twisting to the right was coming up as that Rolfing energy. To stretch the other way, the dancer and or singer and healing, the Middle East and or I Dream of Jeannie, and again a lot of 70s shows are coming up here, or I Dream of Jeannie and Double Vision. Double Vision. So who is that? But also twins coming up here with Double Vision. One cold, one hot, rising above and landing on the moon. And again, the eagle has landed keeps coming up, so it's that reference. Belly dancer or belly up, or doing the twist or obstacle course. Someone may have lost an arm, and this may be way in the past. And when that came up, Kali came up, the Hindu goddess of death, time, and doomsday. Perhaps the names Chris, which is Christ and Christmas and all that, and Michael coming up as Archangel Michael. Sexuality and violence, but also a strong mother. The Shakti, the feminine energy of creativity and fertility, the incarnation of Parvati, the wife of Shiva, the extension of Durga, so she's considered the brow of Durga. In a fight with a tower or towering inferno, left arm and right knee, and this can reference the masculine and the feminine, left is the feminine, right is the masculine, her left arm, his right knee, connected, or hanging out watching Dancing with the Stars, or from Egypt to modern Middle East. That could be a history show. Or hanging out, spaced out, and suddenly heat rising, or almost got burned. The 4D here is alchemy, the 3 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Swords. The divine feminine alchemizing in the pits of hell, or their stomach. The divine masculine juggling the war within, in a growth spurt from frog to prince, in the mists of Avalon or Mount Olympus. Okay, and that referencing the Olympics, or being perhaps at the shore. Faceless heart of emerald order, bridging with the Three of Pentacles, Trinity. Remember, Trinity is tri, ni, tai. Tri, a show of power and gratitude in working together. The divine feminine patient angel working with the divine masculine, and what he's now working through at 6:15, which is the day my twin first replied to me, which is also my brother's birthday, is lovers and the devil. So again, incorporating the shadow side. The 5D here is the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and the Page of Cups. The divine feminine 5D messages in a bubble on a rock under a tree to the 6D bridge. The divine masculine, remember the 6D is the level of manifestation, of instant manifestation, but it takes time for that manifestation to trickle down into the 5 and 4D. So the divine masculine with the Page of Cups here, that innocent love or puppy love, with heart open wide and making a splash, bridging in energetic exchange, the arrows of love at 0 point, home field advantage. The 6D here is the Page of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, and guidance. The divine feminine Page of Pentacles, curious about their own abilities. The divine masculine guidance of Buddha and Sphinx, bridging with the 10 of Wands, Atlas, leaving the wounded warrior behind to meet at the light at the top of the steps. As the divine feminine manifests, the 5D message in a bubble to end all burdens, the weight and the world, the divine masculine receives a big message of love and or puppy love here. The outgoing divine masculine here is the 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Cups. The divine masculine outside and the divine feminine's heart at the E tower, putting crystal puzzle pieces together. It's like he's outside her tower, putting the pieces together, and the tower is the divine feminine's heart. Lining the steps and clearing the portal, the threshold, while grieving alone in the woods by the creek, with 2 glasses waiting, but no one showing up, or just counting to 20 instead of 10, right? If they didn't show up after 10, well, I'll just count to 20. The King of Swords, master of ceremony, of minimal and clean lines, losing hope that all he cares about is work, and whose is bigger or better than whose, and status as well. So whose is, it's all about the work, and whose is bigger and better, who's got more money, who's got more status. The divine feminine here, blending epiphanies old and new, rising to the field and the occasion, while rising from the ashes to get her message out to the Page of Pentacles. The divine masculine stretching in the war within, for the Page of Cups to open their heart to puppy love and guidance, commitment to the inner and the outer child. The bridge between them is the workplace in energetic exchange with Atlas and the weight of the world. Unending work, holding the world on his back, no one to share the load or give him a break. Even Hercules only came in for a nanosecond and split, and no one wants this. At 6:33, the lovers and the Christ vibration, standing up for oneself without being triggered or defensive. The divine feminine with Pisces or Capricorn, as well as Scorpio, Aquarius, and Sagittarius on their side, with the Knight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. The divine masculine with Taurus energy on his side, along with the Page of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Between them is nothing but work and more work. So the stay and the tav came up here, or the star and the seed. The rising above to be the rope and remain the bite. So the energy of this read came up overall as the 53, the Knight of Swords, right? Because words can be very biting, especially with the Knight of Swords, can be very harsh, even if they're upright, because it's coming in quick and very precise, and it's coming from that one person's perspective. So the horizontal pillars came up as 10, 8, and 35, the Wheel of Fortune, the Strength card, and the 9 of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. And the verticals came up as 007, so we have 007 here, James Bond. The 7 of the Chariot, the 21, it's actually 0, 21, and 5. So 21 is the world, 5 is the Hierophant, and then 7 of the Chariot again, with 8 of strength and the 5 of the Hierophant again. So 2 chariots and 2 Hierophants, 2 gods and 2 vehicles, 2 Tauruses, 2 Cancers here, a lot of those energies. And the message is coming up as someone could have like 7, like with the work all work, someone has 7 offices and they're working on their 8th office and while they're grieving loss and regret. So it's like throwing yourself into work to avoid dealing with the loss and regret. Destined to be strong, wounded warrior, right, still guarding their wounds, and the Knight of Swords with very sharp tongue, right, speaking their truth. And then we have the Chariot with the world, ascending world to heaven on earth, with 2 Hierophants flanking like bookends, traveling the world, committed to, this was so funny because heaven on earth, the acronym for that is HOE, H-O-E. So there's definitely a Mary Magdalene reference here. Traveling the world, committed to HOE, heaven on earth, the Hierophant and the Knight of Swords, right? The one committed, or that Taurus energy, and the Knight of Swords, which is the messenger of truth, which is also coming up as the messenger of God, right? So it's that mercurial energy, and Gemini was coming up earlier too as the Queen of Swords, right? The messenger of God. They're the most talented at communication, the Gemini energy. So now we have the Twin Flame read with the Syrian Starseed deck that was cut and dealt at 6:52 to 3, which again is the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords, which we just finished off talking about them, and the Lovers. So this could be lovers who are the Knight and Queen of Swords, the Messenger of Truth and the Lady of Light, the War Widow. So she could be the wounded warrior, right? And this is for before the new moon today, going into the new moon. And then at 7:07, solar deity came up, which is the sun, but also sun as something to worship. And then En of crystals, and for me, En is code for Jesus Christ. So the Christ of crystals, which is crystals, is Christ-like. So the sun deity is being like something, but not actually it, right? The solar deity, the sun that we worship, or the Christ that's not actually the Christ. And then also Eity came up. So there's gratitude regarding the egg. And then RY stalls, which is like excuses, right? So having gratitude for the egg, or the child, or the birth of all that is, and then are the why in the stalls at the why in the road as to why. You know, there's always excuses as to why or why not. And if you were perfectly at peace with oneself, you wouldn't have an excuse, or you wouldn't feel the need for an excuse. So remember that when you start to use an excuse, because we all do that. So the number 7 also comes up, but instead of 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do, it was coming up as 7, because 7 is that spiritual number which isn't of this world. All right, so it was referencing 1 as that starseed of another world, that 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. But also the master of the house was coming up, and Henry VIII, I am. So the read was completed, the clarifiers at 7:28, which is the Chariot, and the 28, which is the Two of Wands, the Twin Flames, and the Choice of Path. The major arcana here, and for some reason I decided to do 2 layers of cards today, of the main cards. So you'll see double cards here and here, and not in the main read. The main read is the main read I put out, but then I put out a second layer that was another cut in the deck that I was guided to put out over it. So I did. So this is the message from both of the reads on top of each other. So it's the same read, but it's just more clarification of that read. So the first read put out was the Reason of the Emperor, the Star, and the Lovers as the major arcana. And the second read, we had the Wheel of Fortune, Transition, and the Sun. The first one, we had 2 cups, 2 pentacles, 2 swords, and 2 wands. And the second one was 2 swords, 3 wands, and 3 cups. But there's a lot of 2s here and 3s as well. And we had 4 2s the other day too, which, what is the odds of 4 2s coming up twice in 1 week, because they rarely come up. The first read, there were no court cards in the read, none. The King of Pentacles did come up just before the read, but none in the read, whereas the second read had a ton of court cards in it. The Page of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and before the read, 3 pages, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, and Page of Cups, and the Page of Wands is in the middle of the read, and after the read is the King of Cups, which is also unconditional love. So again, this is the one is the loneliest number of Henry VIII amidst all these other people who are all together. But is it really the loneliest number? So we have the 33 of the Christ vibration, the 77 of the Sovereign, the 88 of the Twins dancing, as well as the 37 of the King of Cups, 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, Heaven on Earth, and the 13 of the Transition, the Death card, 35 of the Wounded Warrior, the 9 of Wands, 57 of the 3 of Swords. So the first few I told you were really positive vibrations, and then the second 3 were more of that lower vibration. And this is the second read. So there's a lot of numbers and people in the second read, but the first initial read was just about 1 being the loneliest number, and Henry VIII, I am. So the code line was all about the 88, the twins dancing side by side, and the number 28 also came up, which is the twin flames, and the choice of path. It's also my address, which is always interesting when that comes up. And then we have that code line all about financial discipline. And the Phi was separated from Nantial and Di from discipline. So here's the way the messages were coming up. Henry VIII, the prisoner, the hostage, or with prisoner or hostage or trapped to the nth degree, expanding and contracting, or in the middle would be reflecting, the Nancy at all, right? So Nancy were things referring to Nancy's, and the disciple of 2 selves, right? So discipline is being the disciple to self, but the twins are being disciple to 2 selves, right? So Nantial is coming up, but the word nuntial comes up as pertaining to a neuron. But the message were coming up this way. And again, the neuron is referencing the nerves, but also the messengers. And then when we're talking about the atom, I'm feeling like the neutron, right? Because it's the lonely number in the middle, as opposed to the proton or the electron. So there's twin support here in the 88 of the dance of both twins side by side, both balanced between their masculine and feminine doing the dance. The 88 of orbs of thoughts and words, but also blind men and orphans to the nth degree, reflecting the one to place or the one to have sex with. And there's a really weird energy coming up as, right, Henry VIII, right, can have sex with whoever he demands, right? It was coming up as food also, the servant, the maid, the effeminate homosexual, the male homosexual, the dwarf, the mother, the father, the grandmother, and then them saying there's nobody here except Nancy et al., which could be, could be a mother or whoever, and being the disciple of 2 selves, not just one. So this is like coming from the perspective of like Henry VIII. I have my choice of whatever I want, and yet there's no one I want here. And I am not just the disciple of myself, but 2 selves. Then coming up the mass date of prisoners to the nth degree, which is like the twins, a mass date of all the twins, of the prisoners to the nth degree, expanding and contracting in discipline, or in other words, being the disciple of 2 selves. The master of the house and the slave to the nth degree. Seeking the great wheel, adept, seeking destiny or high vibration of the night, like the soldier, the night of the day and night of the good night, and the adept, which was also coming up as to adapt. The Knight of Pentacles can be coming up here as with Virgo energy alone, right, the Quasimodo energy, and then there's everyone else at play. So again, it's the one who does all the work while everyone else gets to play and be the one who's in financial discipline. So the first card out here is the 8 of Cups upright, the walking away and within, with the 28, again, the twin flames, the choice of path. as well as the Page of Swords upright, the message, or the child, the heir child, with the Page of Pentacles and Page of Cups both reversed under them. So this is like a child taking charge of these other children. And again, this is coming up this week as the child who acts just like their father, but it's very inappropriate because the father, at least if the father comes off as an arrogant person, he has a lot of responsibility on, is coming up as a Henry VIII type of person. He's had a long life and he's actually taken care of people. So even if he's coming up as arrogant or narcissistic, the child mimicking him is very inappropriate because he's got no life experience in that sense. He's just mimicking the way his father's showing him to be. And I've seen that personally as well in a family. And it can be very disturbing because the child doesn't understand what they're projecting to other people. The King of Pentacles reversed with the Page of Pentacles reversed, and that can be a father and child very much like each other in a negative sense, which I just gave you an example of. Along with the karmic energy, or Aquarius or Judge, with the Page of Cups reversed, which is that child of vulnerability and innocence and rejection, also can be the other extremity of the spoiled brat, right, who feels they're entitled. And this is that energy of that child coming up on both sides in two different ways. One in a financial sense or a practical sense like the father, and one in an emotional sense like the mother or the karmic Judge or Aquarius coming up here. The Page of Swords upright walking away in split with the Knight of Wands rushing into the rescue, and the Page of Swords spreading the word or cutting the Fool off at the pass. The Knight of Wands is not allowed in or fell off the horse. All right, so they may have gone back into an addiction or bad behavior that they promised they would stop. The Ten of Pentacles reversed of the family, business, or community with dysfunction, whether it's of loss of money or loss of a family member or just general dysfunction, right? Not a good use of their money or their time or effort. Forcing their agenda, now that the worst is over, with bliss and powerlessness of dependent spending. So again, this is reflecting the one man taking care of the big family, like Henry VIII, everyone partying and doing whatever they want, but he is responsible for everything at the end of the day. So powerless of dependent spending, knowing and keeping to themselves. The Queen of Cups, and remember, if Henry VIII complains about this, then he's going to be called, oh, you're not a man, you can't handle this, right? This is the old wounding that the masculine has had to deal with. The Queen of Cups upright in a sudden event or epiphany, sexual exchange, the starting over in love with the past, or in looking back, or the tree came down. So someone might have cut a tree down here. Or perhaps a tree got knocked down by a storm. Or perhaps a tree from the past, the family tree that came down to build that house that's now going up in smoke. A faulty foundation, and the heat or the heart was on. The heart light turned on like E.T. Or the curling iron was left on. Or everyone was kicked out to start over in love and are cutting off the family tree in order to do it in one big blow, right? Henry VIII I'm chopping off everybody, or I'm going to chop everybody's heads off. At war, but the worst is over, with the Empress reversed. And remember not to be sarcastic about things. If that's your intention, like it used to be in those war times where Henry would actually do that. He actually did that. But if that's not your intention and you're using sarcasm, be careful of what you say, because you could manifest either that action or protection of yourself, assuming that action would happen. So at war, but now the worst is over, with the Empress reversed and the Magician upright, as the Magician pulls perhaps a rabbit out of their hat, or pulls the swords out, one at a time, to match with their DNA, or trying to identify their birth mother, hopefully not in a graveyard. Or magically surrendered to leave behind a lot of pain. Codependency coming up here, but also to stay optimistic about your love life. That the Queen of Cups upright is offering a new life, or time, money, and effort, but without love perhaps, or affection to the Knight of Cups upright, who may be proposing a physical reunion. From root to tip, or butt to hair, no dessert, unless recognizes as their flame. No second prize here, only the one, with egg and dessert, or if you want me now, you have to prove that they're number one, or both at least number two to each other after selves. no sloppy seconds here, and they have to prove themselves. The effort here, and again, it's not about having nothing to prove, but also in creating boundaries for yourself at 12:24, which is the hangman, and the 24, so it references the Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and referencing your boundaries for someone who has hurt you or treated you not well in the past. It's really up to them to prove that they're different now, that they will treat you differently, because why would you take in just anyone, right? You're not going to just take a murderer into a relationship if you don't know that you can trust them, right? Because that wouldn't be wise. You need to preserve yourself first, love yourself first. So there's effort here to be made with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, with the world upside down, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D in transition, or the Queen of Pentacles reversed with Pisces in their chart, needing to make an effort or closure, or needs more confidence. Grieving loss, regret, or praying that those dark birds go away, which came up in the message of the day as well. Under the radar, or feeling like a failure. Attention-seeking behavior, or ruin their reputation. With the Page of Cups reversed, rejection from the past, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, or everything, or dumping the weight, the world, or the weight of the world, as the King of Swords talks to the Hierophant, perhaps in a confession. And that literally can be the King of Swords going to church to confess. Done performing or hauling ass for $2, trading in sword for their rod or staff to diddle with. Crowned with the sun and not the cross, the King of Swords royal and ruled by Saturn. The contemplation of the world here, of religious belief systems, marriage establishments, and Taurus here, the way of societal norms of the past and the patriarchy of the past, the Hierophant walking away from the past, or to look back and manifest big time by putting all their cards on the table for a physical reunion, and to make an effort in that. Implementing a plan that didn't work, or being held back. Going forward after this read is the energy of being released, finally. The Knight of Cups upright being love over loss and guilt or regret of past loves, of children, impatience or patience, or impatient, or losing patience, or following, or a fallen angel, the Knight of Wands. Lover with the Emperor, which could be someone who cheated on you, no longer imprisoned. The Knight of Cups offering love, or just being love without expectation, and the other soulmate may be over the loss now or regret of the soulmate or kids due to lack of patience, or Sagittarius reverse Knight of Wands, leaving lovers with or great affection for the Emperor. So lovers, someone who's lovers with the Emperor, or just a great affection for them. So it could be a friend or a father figure, that kind of thing. So the Emperor upright with the Queen of Swords, or the Queen of Swords is reversed here. The Emperor's upright with the Queen of Swords reversed in this recent past here. The Queen of Swords reversed may be being reasonable here. Happy with themselves and coming together, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss. Impatient to offer love is the Knight of Cups that may cause an eruption or explosion, or standoffishness of the Queen of Swords reversed in trying to get the King of Swords upright to drop the facade and hang out, perhaps with them. In separation or heartbreak and reunion, or gathering announced, or a call to the King of Wands reversed with the Wounded Warrior, or he is the Wounded Warrior. Sagittarius reversed, and Scorpio, Capricorn, Pisces, Aquarius upright here at 844, which is that 44-8 of the Four of Cups, grounding and integrating, and mastering of love and doing the dance. So after the Emperor and the Hierophant, right, the two red coats, which is also church and state, after the Emperor and Hierophant had walked away, the foundation here is the Queen of Cups with the Three of Cups, the very social person, with the Hierophant and Emperor from the past, or looking back together, with the Devil waving, the Capricorn temptation, or offering time, money, and effort in exchange for Atlas and the weight of the world. deal with the devil, church, state, and the devil. The emperor may be half and half, half devil, half angel, all sweet, pulling them in, and then turn sour into the slave driver once they get them at 8:48, the dance and the walking away and within. I was just getting the baptism too, of the Mary Magdalene baptism, of where the fresh water meets the salt water, and that's an actual baptism place in the south of France. And I was just literally going into the water, the baptism. At 8:49 is the dance, and the 49 of the Nine of Cups, being satisfied with oneself, which is happiness and contentment. The central energy being the Page of Wands upright. And remember, the Page of Swords was upright in the underlying energy over the Page of Cups and Pentacles reversed. So one child wanted to be like the emperor and take power over the other kids. But here we have the Page of Wands, who's also upright, very impassioned, right? They're excited about something. And the Ace of Pentacles upright, an offer of a new life, or time, money, and effort. Right? Someone very excited to start a new life. Home, union with the Knight of Swords reversed and the King of Cups reversed, perhaps one who keeps quiet and holds their tongue, doesn't say what they mean, and one emotionally detached, unavailable to hang out. All truth and no love, or conditions thereof. Up at the crack of dawn, which is funny because you can take that as the crack of dawn. And then the new moon tonight, here on the East Coast anyway, into the 7th, excited to make an offer and challenged by release in a twist of fate or in the downturn around that low vibe. You know, when you go into a downturn, there's more of a low vibration. The Queen of Swords reversed and the King of Swords upright here, along with the High Priestess reversed, a need to use their intuition or a secret passion here. The Queen of Swords reversed and the King of Swords upright are wide awake or unable to sleep, not wanting to be together perhaps, or just having a differing of opinion or had a fight. And the Queen of the High Priestess reversed is getting over loss, regret of the dark night, blocked by money, stability, and holding on to religious beliefs. The King of Pentacles reversed, Henry VIII I am. One is the loneliest number, refusing to share, and the inequity of release of the King of Pentacles reversed. And again, this is even if he's narcissistic or a mean person or all about the money, he also is the one taking care of everyone. So even though if there's a release here, like a divorce or something like that, it comes out unfair because he did all the work, and probably the ones that were taken care of will get at least half of his money, right? And even more maybe, just so he can get out, because maybe they won't accept and they don't want to get a divorce because he's been taking care of them all these years and they want him to continue taking care of all of them. But this is the energy of saying no, 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 unless you give us all of your money, basically, right? That's the only way they can get out, because why would they give up a good thing where they don't have to do a thing? The Divine Feminine, the 5D, and the world upside down, getting their wish in a downturn, or the Divine Masculine feeling guilty and imbalanced, recovering from exile, injury, or illness, satisfied as the Magician, emotionally fulfilled and defenseless to the energies and or attacks or feeling ganged up on a quest to get a message across. The now moment here is the Knight of Cups, the star energy of healing and dreaming, or being the healer or the dreamer. The Knight of Cups being love, seeing synchronicities of the wounded warrior and asking them to take their wand, just waiting to share. So whereas before the emperor wouldn't share, they're, may be different now. After seeing synchronicities of the wounded warrior and asking them to take their wand or trying to help, just wanting to share, emotionally fulfilled now King of Pentacles with the King of Cups reversed, because he's upright here. This can be 2 men, or this could be also a woman. The King of Cups reversed could be a woman who's very masculine with a lot of conditions of love. Again, the one who wears the pants in the family. Or it can be 2 men. So the King of Pentacles upright with the King of Cups reversed, Hierophant, or marriage here. So it could be a business partnership or a marriage or any other kind of partnership of societal norms. In separation or heartbroken, the Knight of Cups leaning on the truth with the Queen of Swords without peace in a twist of fate or with Libra upside down and the Hermit shedding light on them, but doing it under the radar, suffering in silence, or dealing with Sister, the Hermit missing their flame, refusing to wake up, and the Knight of Pentacles offering something healthy to the girls of the narcissistic Hierophant, establishment, religion, or Taurus, using strong-arming tactics, or Leo taming the beast, recovering from exile or injury and illness without an olive branch offered, or in other words, doing it without anyone's help at 9:05, the Hermit and the Hierophant. Again, that's Virgo and Taurus energy. Deception and recovery, the Queen of Cups upright, focusing on love and heart, on a quest to connect with special connection. Soon here, looking back at the Queen of Wands upright, walking away while they're awakening from a soulmate, past love breakup, done in time out, while the Knight of Pentacles is offering help to start over to dependents or those powerless to express their true feelings or choose a path or figure out how to work, or an awakening of and to rise above and come out with the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or to an upside down world, or Pisces reversed star, right? This could be an entitled child star with a fame pushing mother wanting more exposure for them. The twin flames are defenseless in the dark night transition portals, with the King of Wands reversed with happy family and kids or exposed fully, and the justice of pushing buttons, suffering in silence and purging in the need of help or a missed opportunity with lover third party through work. So this could be the one, and make the effort and attraction come up for the twins at 9:13, which are both ending cards, the 9 of endings of compassion and the collective consciousness, the wise one, and the 13 of death and transition and transformation, the endings. This could be the one, and make an effort and attraction. And the movie that came up last night was Letters to Juliet, which was a really sweet movie, very romantic. And it started at 9:46, so there's that 46 of the two innocent children loving each other again, and the Hermit of going within. The King of Wands reversed with happy family and kids. The Page of Pentacles reversed with lover and issues at work. The Judge, the divorce, the Libra dumping on the King of Wands reversed, or purging them both out of their life. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Lovers upright, the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, defenseless to Leo, ego, pets, or children. Training the dog or cat. Overworking, or it's not working out, or just not working out. Running away from judgment, awakening, and or calls. Or defenseless to the element at work. Or lying, cheating, and stealing at work. Or stealing announcement or intel and sharing it at work. Leo and Sagittarius here. Gemini and Aquarius as well. The block here being the 7 of Cups, synchronicities or options and the steps to take. The energy loops in the stairway to heaven with secret paths. Which is really probably supposed to be passion, but I like secret paths. The stairway to heaven with secret paths, implementing a plant offering passion in a heated exchange. So implementing a plan or a plant offering passion in a heated exchange. Financial discipline comes up here, but even more so is time out, patience, and completion. The Dark High Priestess reverse comes up here that does not have the keys, spying on a quest or on a guest to find out the truth. Sunshine and exposure and recovery of the 10 of Cups, defenseless to the ex or fighting the Page of Swords or multiple messages. Exposing the Queen of Swords reversed and the Page of Cups reversed star or spoiled star or Aquarius, or grieving rejection and healing. Sunshine, the Divine Feminine's heart opening up, fully energized on a quest to connect. Perhaps the Queen of Swords reversed is unable to sleep. With the Page of Cups reversed, which can be a mother with a new baby too, right? The Page of Cups could be a crying baby and the Queen of Swords is miserable because she's not getting any sleep. So the Queen of Swords reversed is unable to sleep with the Page of Cups reversed out there under the stars somewhere with the child or pup. Whether this is a child or pup. And again, this was coming up in the underlying energy or the message of the day too, about perhaps children that never came home last night, or a pup or an animal that got out and got lost and you can't find them. The Queen of Cups focusing on heart and love. The Queen of Swords, though, is focusing on what she should have and doesn't. Walking away and within, the Page of Swords upright from the Page of Pentacles and Page of Cups, who are both reversed, or perhaps in their negative energy, and the Page of Swords no longer wanting to deal with that, to come together with the Queen of Cups, who's also upright, defenseless in transition, with the Knight of Wands lover, with the Emperor upright and the Queen of Swords reversed. Inspired to offer money and or a new life to the Page of Wands, who's excited or inspired, and or the Queen of Wands, who may be living in the past, even though she's upright here. The challenge being released in the downturn. This could be a layoff or being fired. And the Queen of Wands at war within, taking steps to get out, with the Star Knight of Cups healer in an offer of love to get the Divine Feminine to come out and expose everything, or be their sunshine. Walking away from the Emperor upright and the Queen of Swords reversed marriage, establishment, religion, or a Taurus person, and the Queen of Cups coming together with the Page of Wands with an offer to Star, the Knight of Cups, or Star as being love together perhaps, the Queen of Cups and the Page of Wands. Challenge being the release in the downturn. Transitioning from defenseless past, the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands lovers, and they could be children as well, climbing the stairway to heaven, or at least to the sun. And remember, we talked about the sun being a deity, not the deity, but being deity-like, right? The sun being like the central sun, but not actually God, right? The 930 of the Hermit and the 30 of the Union. Exposure of overwork or not working out to get over it and find peace that is lacking, with a secret passion birthing through the Ring of Fire. Fully energized and exposed, yet not surrendering to all that is. The Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, knocking Spidey's writing on the wall off the wall, lightning to their thunder, Michael to Metatron, light and sound, burning the tower down. Realizing his shadow is his Divine Feminine trying to help, but he keeps pushing the Hermit Quasimodo off the top of the ledge. The Divine Feminine passing downloads, and the Divine Masculine throwing stones, stoning her, stonewalling. Or is that buoy or lifeline from the King of Cups, unconditional love? The Divine Masculine, grieving, the Divine Masculine with drama, with no place or no peace, receiving from the Divine Feminine, bridging it's like bridging the new and passing to ground zero. The Divine Feminine birthing the Lion's Gate for the Divine Masculine to become that unconditional love of the King of Cups. So again, the Divine Feminine breaking through or birthing through the Lion's Gate in order for the Divine Masculine to become unconditional love. It's like she's already graduated. So you've already graduated in previous Lion's Gates, and this is the Lion's Gate for the masculine to graduate, and the feminine helping him to do that. It's like she's been trying to throw him a lifeline, but he kept pushing it away, thinking it was the shadow, like the dark, the devil, the evil energy, when it was just always his own shadow all along. And here's that letters to Juliet, which is interesting because in the movie too, she's engaged when it starts off, and when she first meets the other guy, he's a bit of a jerk. But of course they end up falling in love. So don't assume things about people that you may not really know who they are. Okay, so let's pull a couple oracle cards here for you guys. It's 10418, which is the Magician, the Emperor, and the Moon, as we have a new moon coming up tonight. So Magic of the Emperor, it's 12:44 on the clock, which is the Hangman, and the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, of receiving of love especially, of the masculine. The masculine allowing his feminine side to come through, right? Because as soon as the masculine accepts his feminine side, he can accept the divine feminine, because that is his feminine side. But if he denies his feminine side, his soft side, then he pushes her away. And the same goes for the feminine to the masculine. If she denies her masculine side, right? Because if you say a blanket statement like all men are bad or all women are bad, you're saying that about yourself. So again, be careful about your thoughts and words. So from the animal spirit deck, what is the message here in closing? The firefly. So this came up earlier too, that the firefly can only burn this bright for so long before they burn out. And there we have the phoenix, right? So they burn out and then they rise again. They burn out and they rise again. They burn out and they rise again. This is about the expansion and coming back to 0 point, coming back to your heart, learning to do the dance. It's very powerful and transformative. With the crocodile watching. So everybody's watching the dance. They're watching to learn. Look at the owls there too. And so is the camel. So everybody's watching this amazing thing where the firefly burns bright to transmute all these dark energies, to bring in the phoenix, to rise from the depths. But again, they can only burn so long, so then they burn out, and then the phoenix rises. And when the phoenix rises, then they burn bright again. It's like this dance. And everyone's just watching this, kind of like in amazement. Like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But then look who's not watching. The lizard. The lizard turns away. So perhaps that's how you can identify that dark light, right? Because the light will be drawn to the light, but the dark will turn away from the light. And then we have that stingray coming in, which is the being turned on, like plugged in and turned on. So awakening the chakra system. And there's the hyena walking away, all right? Denying it, right? Making fun of it because they have their own insecurities. Or maybe they're just not there yet. This is someone coming up as half and half, right? The emperor being dark, half devil, half angel, which is all of us, but we all have those insecurities and we can all rise to the occasion. And if you're not plugged in, how are you going to relate to that? You're not. Someone who's not plugged in is going to say they're full of it and make fun of them. And there's the shark too. And again, they're all facing away. But look who's facing toward it, is the unicorn, of course, because they believe, right? And this is the feminine and the masculine, basically. Like a moth to the flame. You can't deny the attraction, the pull, right? It's the higher self of the dragon self. Okay? And the dragon is, it's a very spiritual card in this deck, and so is the golden egg, is the heart. And there's this sweet little otter. But be careful, otter, right? Because the otter's turning away because they're not paying attention, because they're sweet and innocent. They're in their own very high vibration, right? Because the very young children have very high vibration. And be careful of the innocent, because there are prey around. It's also like the unlikeliest of couples. It's like coming together and saying, why are their parents allowing them to hang around with this one? But they may actually be healing each other. This could be the old, crotchety person hanging out with the grandchild baby, and it's actually healing them both. So don't judge. Of course, you want to be careful when you feel, don't think. If you feel that someone's in trouble or it being is unprotected, of course you want to protect the child. But I don't feel like that's the case in that circumstance right here. And here again is an odd couple of the hawk coming in, clearing all the negative energies, and perhaps connecting with the beaver, who's just a very hard worker. They keep their nose to the grindstone. And then here, of course, is the crow, in charge of awakening the collective. And here's that turtle saying, no, don't bother me. Don't fence me in. Don't tell me about it. I'm still in this dark energy and I can't get out of it. Like they're drowning in the dark energy that's being expelled from the earth because of all the light that's coming on the earth from the collective awakening. And the crow's got to watch out for them, right? And catch them when they're ready to be caught, to help them. Okay? And then the bottom of the deck is the earthworm. They're keeping all that light to themselves. They're protecting it, and they're keeping their energy clear here. They're very small, you know, they have to keep it close to themselves to protect themselves. Otherwise, they may become vulnerable. But they have the light here. And then we have the peacock, beautiful inside and out. And again, there's that same kind of background energy. By keeping their vibration high, that's all they need to protect themselves, right? There's still some darkness there, but it's not as intense like the turtle was dealing with. So it's, again, when you keep your light, your vibration high and don't expend it all, remember to love yourself first. You need to keep some of that light to keep yourself healthy as well. It keeps you protected naturally. So let's see what comes up with the journey of love. I noticed just now too how my eggs have rolled today. There's one egg over here, and there's a parent and a child separate from the other. Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay, what is the message to take away from this read today? What is the final message? Okay. It's number 6, which is the Lovers, an angel of Jupiter awaken. Okay, we also have, again, the pearl threaded, which came up yesterday. And the third one is the heart of God. So again, here's the awakening process, right? And here there's two, the feminine and the masculine, or the masculine and the feminine, however you want to see it, doesn't matter. They're each in their own lane, but as they go from 3D to 4D to 5D, they naturally merge together. There's nothing they need to do to void the space between. It's actually meant to be there for a reason. And as they raise in vibration and density or dimension, these two lanes naturally merge together, just like in a road. You don't have to change lanes because you know they will naturally come together when they're meant to come together. The angel of Jupiter awakening, the 6 of the Lovers and coming together, the pearl threaded, that we all are the same when it comes to the wounds that we've endured to create this beautiful pearl inside that makes us more beautiful, right? We all relate to each other in that pearl, which is connected throughout all of us regarding the heart of God, right? We are the collective consciousness. We are those pieces of God, all joined together as one. The 6 of the Lovers, the 38 of the Queen of Cups, and the 9 of the Hermit. The Lovers of the Queen of Cups and the Hermit. The one who threads the pearls, and the one who's the connection directly to God, right? The one who goes within, or is directly connected to that heart of God. And we can all change positions in that sense as well. But in this example, it's coming up as the Queen of Cups and the Hermit. The Lovers. Which can also reference Gemini and Virgo here too, with the 6 and the 9. But we are in the 9 of Virgo energy. So it's just coming up as the energies of the heart of God right now in September. I'm losing my voice. Because remember, the Virgo energy is about purification. And of course, God ultimately is that purification of all of us. The pearl. The bottom of the deck here is 3, 2, 1, jump. And again, this was coming up as still sitting on the fence, right, in the fray of the cyclone, instead of taking that leap into the vortex and trusting this is the best place to be, because this is the place from which we create. That's the 10 of that high vibration of destiny. 3, 2, 1, jump. And again, it has to do with the 3 to 1, right? The one in the middle, the space between, right? The masculine and the feminine, and the space between is the child energy. and across the waters of the 23, the King of Wands. Again, this is that energy of sitting on the fence, sitting in the fray of the cyclone instead of trusting that it's okay to walk fully in to the vortex. Okay. All right, so I have to read to you. The first card out was the Firefly, and then the Angel of Jupiter Awakening. The Firefly is inspired and fantastic and yet fleeting. And I think this came up the other day. The Firefly contains the light of 1,000 stars. It's pure, radiant, and illuminating. This high-frequency charge cannot be sustained for long. Therefore, the Firefly card indicates a moment of inspiration or awakening that quickly fades if we do not catch it. There is a Firefly energy behind every poem, song, and invention. Our job is to be ready to harness this creative spirit when it graces our path. What can you do to support this precious and elusive light? When in balance, write, create, and brainstorm. When out of balance, it's burnt out and feels dull. To bring back into balance, write a poem or draw. So just be a little bit creative. It doesn't have to be anything significant. And then for number 6, and it opened right to the heart of God, too. Angel of Jupiter Awakens says, Beloved, within you there's magnificence, greatness, and the ability to live bolder, larger, and more exuberantly than you may have ever imagined. Awaken that keen spirit, hungry for adventure and new experience. The Angel of Jupiter, the spirit of bold expansion and divine generosity, lives within you. Your spirit cannot be made small, and it must be free. Start now. Feel the endlessness of your own heart. What can be done today to live bigger? A smile? A yes to that offer of adventure? Sharing vulnerability without fear? Taking a step forward into the unknown? Daring to imagine that the divine doesn't just happen to you, but happens through you, as you? Embrace the courage of your own open heart and dare to dream, beloved. The bold divine nature within you is calling you to great things. Now is your time to awaken. This oracle holds a message of guidance for you. You are being given an opportunity that can change your life. Don't hesitate to accept it. If you're acting with more assertiveness, more generosity, and more playfulness and more spiritual authority than usual, this is confirmation that this is coming from a genuine place within you. If you're experiencing some havoc in your life or a sense that things are changing, this oracle comes as affirmation that yes, there is change, and yes, you are outgrowing what once was, so you'll be prepared to receive that which is more suited for your next stage of growth. Awake in your arms, I wait to stop time, savoring each moment for an eternity. Like an angel, you light the room, your love giving life to the love I've held within. Unbridled and free, our dream unfolds, and we are forever changed. And I want to read you the Heart of God too, because that opened right up to the Heart of God when I opened the book. You are a part of something profound, a divine calling and privilege. It's the role of the inspiratrix or inspirator upon this earth, the women and men who have hearts capable of bliss. Bliss is what we feel when we let God in. The heart opens and we cannot speak for the sensation of it. It cannot be described. Great hearts can tolerate mystery. They can bear the enormity of divine bliss, beyond analysis and description, and simply be. You don't have to do anything with it, you see. To be the inspiration is to have a heart open to the divine. It's a life calling. Your heart is an inspirational force to be loved, recognized, and protected for the precious catalyst of divine awakening that it is. Be led by your heart. God is in it, speaking through it, calling you forth to love. And the love that flows through your heart filters out through your toes, dripping on those beneath you as stars falling from heaven. This oracle holds a message for you direct from the divine. You have a sacred purpose to fulfill on this earth, and it's all sorted out. This situation, this issue, this awakening that you seek and are living even now is held lovingly in the hands of the divine creator. The creator says to you, leave it with me. It's all unfolding in perfection. I am alive in your heart. I am your heart. I am that I am, right? Henry VIII, I am. When souls are touched with love sublime and hearts unleashed the wonder found, a promise made somewhere in time of words that speak without a sound. In gratitude we transcend space and bless the gifts we now can keep, of thoughts caress and soft embrace, and eyes allowed to joy and weep. The moment's song that we compose will leave this life with no regret, and carry forth what we impose, to chart again a course once set. For what we have is ours to own, each breath a step we measure sweet. Together now we wait alone, and walk in peace, our hearts complete. And that's so funny because 3 to 1 is the next one. So I'm just going to read you that one too. Is that the one that was supposed to come up? Oh, that was the underlying energy, yeah. There is a heavenly child in your midst. It may be within your heart, your womb, or a glimmer in your eyes soon to be. This child holds the key to the fulfillment of a process that is happening for you now. The child might be a physical culmination of your marriage or commitment to another. It might be symbolic birthing of a new self after a time of learning to bridge the male energies of protection and discernment together with the female energies of feeling and creativity. Whether within yourself or in your relationship with another, the child might symbolically be new life, an improved relationship, a book, a new job, a completely renewed way of dealing with what once was a challenging issue and so will soon not be an issue for you anymore. Just to name some examples, from masculine to feminine to child, there is now just one, a new reality dawning with grace. This oracle holds a message for you. New life is upon you now. You're being reborn and you will give birth to what is meant for you in this lifetime. There's no need to worry, just pray with an open heart that you may be supported to fulfill your destiny. You already are, of course, but prayer can help you realize it. The rest is in the loving and capable hands of the divine. And the poem reads, love is what makes the heart beat faster, the lump in my throat, the feeling of missing you so much that I can't wait to be with you again. And then we are, and I look in your eyes deeper, and I know the unspoken words that say I love you, and feel words in return. How short each lifetime seems, and what I feel with you lasts forever. May love be the compass that guides you on the course of a lifetime. Remember your water, your sleep, your joy, and your nature, and do it your way. And their blue eyes is coming up as well. Take a deep breath and rise and be love, you guys. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.